Hello, welcome to a live stream. It's been a while. When was the last time I did one? I guess it was the last day of the Premier League season. So hopefully I haven't forgotten how to do this. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'll wait until you tell me in the chat whether you can or not. Yeah, it should be live. So we're going to do a Euro live stream, of course, for Euro 2020 Fantasy, the official UEFA game. I'm still tinkering around with my team quite a lot because I'm just not quite sure how to do it. I think there's so much doubt over Hazard now. I'm probably just going to go to the standard 3 premium forwards, I think. FPL Sponge in the chat, how's it going? FPL Giant, what is going on? The break, I mean, I haven't really had a break. I think I had one day off, which I didn't I still did some work stuff, and then we just jumped straight into the Euro contest. There hasn't been a break, but that's fine, right? That's absolutely fine. What else would I be doing right now? Yes, give it a like if you have enjoyed it. So we're just gonna do like we do for all the other Q&As. Just try to answer your questions. I mean, I will say my knowledge of Euros is not quite up to not up to standard, but up to the same standard as FPL. So I'll probably be looking a few bits up. But I don't really see a huge issue with that. Take a holiday. Where to? I can't go anywhere. So no, not really. Chaz, how is it going? Poland for Euros. You heard it here first. For the whole Euros. Zuba? Dizuba? Oh, bloody names, honestly. Absolute nightmare. Let me bring up my... I got my fancy transition now. Let me bring up my... my team. So this is how it stands. There's no better way to show you this, by the way. Like this website is just so stupid. Look, why make it that small? Anyway, this is still the same team that I put up on the draft yesterday. I think I can't remember. I think Mount's in. I can't even show you the whole freaking team at once without making it like this. The only way to fit it on screen is this size, but you can't see it, can you? Can you see that? I don't think you can. Why should someone play Euro 2020 Fantasy since there are no prizes? You don't have to. Don't play it if you don't want to. No one's forcing you to, right? It's just something interesting to do while we watch the Euros, right? But if you don't want to play it because there's no prizes, guess what? You don't have to play it. Nobody is forcing you to play the game at all. Why do you have Garcia? Yeah, to be honest, I'm not. I think at this point, I'm not really... Yeah, it's way too small, isn't it? I knew it would be. I got to be honest, at this point, I am not concerned at all about setting in stone my 4.5 million defenders. They will be who they will be. They're just placeholders. So right now, I've got double Denmark defence. Garcia, Denea, and Spinazzola as the Italy player. I'm not sure. No Ronaldo or Lewandowski. Yeah, exactly. Lewandowski. I always say Dowski. If Simon is the Spain goalkeeper, then I'll just this is what I'm going to do, right? If you've watched the draft videos, you'll know. I hate this UI. It's awful. If Simone is the keeper, then I'll just take both of these players out, and I will go for Hradetsky and Mr. Simon, and I'll just do that instead. I just want goalkeepers playing on different days, basically. If I can get the Dutch and Spanish keeper, great. But who knows who it's going to be yet. Do I think Che Adams will start? I don't know. We got any Scottish fans in? Hang on, I need 2 seconds. Can I leave that there? Where can I put it? How can I have 3 screens and still feel like I've not got enough screens? Hang on. I need to get the chat somewhere else. 2 seconds. Okay, that should do it. Give me 2 secs. I did have a list of all the predicted lineups somewhere, and I can't find it. To see who was most likely. I can't find it now. Do I think... I got to be honest, I'm probably not going to go for Hazard. Favourite names pronounced. Harry Kane. The best one. David, come on, tell us. Is Che Adams going to start? What do you think of Klasic, tool striker for Austria, just for game week 1 against North Macedonia? Yeah, I think if you I think that's a good fixture title. I know a lot of people are like big on North Macedonia defenders, but I'm not really that. I just don't see the appeal. I know Alioski's on penalties, right? And I know you can transfer him out if he doesn't do very well, but I don't know. I feel like with this game, I've said this on a few videos now, looking back over previous results, that can span over like years. Like you can go like 10, 15 games. It could be years in between some of those games. So talking about form and how good a defense is and stuff like that, I'm just going by the odds for this. I think I just have to. Like you're not always playing the same teams as well, which doesn't help, right? Yes, I'm going to... Okay, hang on. Let me just transfer Hazard out because I agree. He was on... I saw an interview translated. I can't remember who translated it now. But basically, he said he doesn't like playing with minor inconveniences. I'm sure in the language he was speaking, that's not quite what he said. But I agree. He's becoming too much of a risk. So to be honest, I know what's going to happen. I think one of the reasons I'm trying to avoid this because it's just boring. Everybody's doing this, right? Is I take out Ericsson, I probably put in Torres, and then I've got 5.5 million to spend on another midfielder. So that's if I want Kane, Ronaldo, and Lukaku. I could just get Depay, to be honest, and that just reduces the amount a bit more. And then you can just put another £7 million midfielder in, whoever that is. I'll put Malyanovsky in for now, and then that would be the team without Hazard. So no Hazard, no Ericsson. Just the same old boring team that everybody has, right? With a few 4.5 million defenders in there. With how good Belgium's left wing looked with Thorgan Hazard and Carrasco, I don't think Eden Hazard will play every game. I mean, he's definitely going to play every game when he's fit, right? Surely. I mean, I get that the other players are doing well, but a fit Eden Hazard is like one of the first names on the team sheet, possibly behind Lukaku and De Bruyne. Adam, I'm doing well. How are you? Best cheap 5.5 million midfielders: Yaziki, Alaba. There is, basically they are the two that I would have. I need to. I'm sure there's one other one at 5.5. Hang on, let me do this by price. Who's the other? Oh, yeah, mids. I'm sure there was another one that might be okay, but that might be it actually. They're the two that I'm looking at, like Declan Rice, Neves. No. I think. Oh yeah, Davy Klaassen, if he gets the nod, might be okay, but I don't know if we can say he's 100% nailed. Whereas with Alaba and Yaziki, I think they probably are. Darun, I think, started the friendly for Holland, but yeah, realistically, I think you're going to Alaba and Yaziki, this guy that I've got in right now. Let me make that bigger every time. Let's just make it bigger. Should I? Yeah, basically, right, there's no question about it. As long as you are going to be around to manage your team, you should absolutely play the players that play first. So try and ignore how I've got it set up because I'm not going to set that until close to the deadline. But yes, I would have Dene in ahead of Ronaldo because Ronaldo plays after him, so you can just swap him in later on. What do you think of Azpilicueta? I think, how much is he? Is he 5.5, something like that? Or is he 5? He's 5. It's not a bad price, but the thing is, you're probably going to be able to get a centre-back for 4.5. I feel like if you're going to go for an attacking Spanish player, go and get Alba, but he's 6 million. That's the only thing. Trippier is shot at 5 million. I think he might start. I don't know how sure I would be about Trippier starting, to be honest. For me, for England, England I can talk about for days. There's 7 players that are nailed, I think, if everyone's fit. And then the fullbacks and the wide forwards, who knows? They're the 4 players. Left back, right back, left forward, right forward. I don't think anyone can tell you with any confidence exactly who's going to play. Is Torres, Pau Torres, is he nailed? I don't think he's nailed. I don't think we know for 100% certainty, but a lot of people think he will play. I actually saw. I saw Pau Torres getting put in predicted lineups before Ramos was even out of the squad, so he should be okay. I'm going to be saying this for the whole stream. Just ignore who the 4.5 million defenders are. They're just placeholders, right? If Garcia doesn't, if I don't think Garcia is playing, I'll just swap to Torres. In fact, I'm just going to do it now because I'll be answering that question on stream. Just don't worry about who they are. Like, it really doesn't matter. I'm just right now. I'm trying to figure out structure and who the captains are. I mean, this front line, like, what's the percentage they're owned by? It's going to be massive. It's only 26 for Ronaldo, 42 for Lukaku, and 15 for Depay. Jesus, they're not as 10 players as I thought they were going to be. Interesting. Why isn't De Ligt good? He is good, but I just think he's a bit expensive when you can possibly get a goalkeeper and a left wing back for €1 million less, right? Is Poland attacking enough to warrant Lewandowski's price? Yeah, I do worry about him. He's 11.5. It's quite expensive. It's the same price as Kane. The thing with him is, if a lot of you are on like Limitless Matchday 2, let me bring the fixtures up. So you get he's probably going to play all the games, right? He's probably going to play all 3. So you get Slovakia in the first game, and then if you're limitless in Matchday 2, then in Matchday 3 you get who is it? Sweden. Right, and then you've got a captain on the last day as well. So one thing to keep in mind is if you've got Lukaku and Depay for the final match day, they both play on the same day. So you're not going to be able to go for Depay and then swap to Lukaku. So you've got one captain from here, which will probably be an Italy defender or Chiesa for a lot of people. Then it's Lukaku or Depay, and then on this day. Basically, you've got probably England players, so possibly Harry Kane if you got him on a separate day. That's one of the reasons I like Kane over Depay. But obviously, you've got transfers you can make. And then Lewandowski plays this day. So I think he's quite expensive to the point where I probably won't go for him. I really need to think about my captains. I think the one thing I've not given enough thought to right now is who my transfers will be in match day 3, because apparently we're going to get 3. If you're limitless in match day 2, you get to carry 1 transfer over. I don't know if it doesn't say that in the rules, but a lot of people seem to think that's the case. So if I start with Ronaldo, I could swap him to Kane on the last day, or for the last match day, and just go Chiesa, then Lukaku, then Kane, and then, I don't know, Ferran Torres, whoever it is on the last day if you really need this. If you really need another player. When will my final Game Week 1 team video come out? Next Wednesday or Thursday, I don't know for sure. Yeah, I think Thorgan Hazard's nailed, but the problem is, do you know what might be easier, actually? Do you know what might be easier? Hang on a second. Let's be clever about this. Okay, so if I need to look up a player, I'm going to use that tab, and if I want to just show my team, I'll use this tab. How about that? Okay. If I change the size on one, it changes it on the bloody other one. Oh my god. Yeah, he's 8 million though. It's Thorgan, right? Thorgan Hazard. He's 8 million. He's playing as a wing back, so he is going to be attacking, but you want him kind of similar to Meunier, where he's listed as a defender. Like, that would be decent. How much is Carrasco, by the way? I've not even looked, to be honest. 7 million. Ooh, he might be worth a punt, you know. The problem is he's probably not going to keep starting. Like, as soon as Hazard's back and fit, he's going to play. But Carrasco for match day 1 could be an option. We do live transfer stream. I don't know if I'm going to do a deadline stream. We'll do. What about if you use 2 windows? Yeah, but then it just gets a bit messy. Worth noting, England may rest their best players in game weeks in match day 3 if they've qualified. Possibly. But I think winning the group is decent. Can you captain a transfer you have brought in match day 1? Yeah, so basically, right? I know people are still confused about this, right? Let's say, let me set this up properly, right? So Ronaldo plays the last day. Did Denmark play? Yeah, Denmark played before Spain as well, right? So Why can't I make a second transfer? Oh my god, this UI is horrible. This UI is horrible. Oh, I don't want to transfer. I want to sub. Unless I'm being stupid here. But if I swap in Torres for Kier, I can't then also make another sub. I've got to confirm it and then do it. That's a bit annoying. When do the Ukraine play? They play third day. Okay, so let's say this is my team, right? And I've got Kier's captain on match day 1. And he gets 1 point. Right, so he gets 1 point into 2. So I don't want him to play. Let's say he gets 1 point and Spinazzola gets 6 points, right? And Yaziki also gets 1 point. So for day 2 of match day 1, then I would probably swap them both out, and I would take out, and I would do it a day at a time, right? So I wouldn't make. This is the thing you have to do. You don't make the sub until you absolutely have to, okay? So let's see if let's hope I can explain this in a way you can follow. So I've got Italy and Turkish players in day 1 of match day 1. Just call it a freaking game week. Just call it a game week. Day 1, match day 1. So I've got 3 players, right? Let's say Spinazzola gets he gets 6, Chiesa gets 2, Yaziki gets 2. So straight away I'm thinking, right, I want to bring on Torres and Malinowski for these 2. But Malinowski doesn't play until day 3 of match day 1. And Torres doesn't play till day 4. Okay? So there's no need to make that sub for this day. Because on this day, what if Lukaku only gets 1 point? Then instead of swapping out Chiesa or Yaziki with 2, I might as well swap Lukaku out with 1 instead. And then Malinowski plays on day 3, right? So let's say we've subbed in Lukaku. So now we're up to this. Okay, I'll just confirm that because of this stupid UI. And then we get to day 3. Sorry, we're on day 3. And let's say Malinowski only gets 1 point as well. So he's got 1 point. Yaziki and Chiesa still have 2 points each. So they've got 1 more. Then we're on day 4. Okay, now I want Torres in. And obviously other players have played at this point, but I don't want to go through every single score. Then I take out Torres for Malinowski, who I just bought in, right? You can do that as well. So although Chiesa and Yaziki have only got 2 points, the other players have got less points, so I transfer them out. So you only make the sub when you absolutely need to. And obviously you don't want to miss a player play. Other questions, if Chiesa's my captain and he gets 1 point and I want to bring someone else, right? I don't know. Let's say we get to day 5 and Ronaldo's still on the bench. I can bring Ronaldo in and swap him to captaincy as well. You can do that as well. So hopefully that makes some sense. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but there we go. Hopefully that makes sense. Possibly. Put simply, don't summon a player until the day they're due to play. Yeah, exactly. It's not use the date tab so you can sort your game days. Yeah, that's a good point. So here, yeah, at the bottom you got date and it tells you when they're playing. So the earlier the day are the players you want to put in. So that's a really good point actually. I should use that more. So Torres on the 14th, Ronaldo on the 15th, this Torres as well on the 14th. They should all be on the bench. And then one of the players from the 13th should also be on the bench as well. And everyone that's going to play first should be on the pitch, right? It sounds more complicated than it is. I think once you get going, you'll... I need to make a sub to change the formation here. Once you get going, it'll make more sense, I would say. What am I doing here? I think it's because it doesn't fit on the screen properly. There we go. So hopefully that makes sense. Can you change captain each day? Yes, but you don't keep the points once you change them. So if Chiesa gets 6 points and that goes to 12 because he's captain, and then I swap to Lukaku the next day, then Chiesa's back down to 6. He doesn't keep 12. So yes, you can potentially make a choice every day. Now, it doesn't mean that you need 5 really, really good captain options like Ronaldo, Depay, Lewandowski, Insigne, right? You don't necessarily need that many, but you need a few decent ones. And it's always worth captaining someone on the first day, right? So if I've not got Chiesa, but I've got Spinazzola, I will 100% captain him because I think there's a good chance of Italy getting a potential clean sheet. Will Nego start? Why is he's basically highly owned because he probably will get some minutes and he's extremely cheap, but he's not going to start. No, he's probably not going to start. I should say. I shouldn't say anything with too much authority, just in case I've got it wrong. Let me just... I'm just making changes because it fits... 3-4-3 just fits on the screen better. There we go. Did that make sense? Are there deadlines on day 2, 3? Are you talking match days or actual days? Can you sub someone in after they've played? No, because then there'll be no point in manual subs. You would just wait until everyone's played and then pick your team, right? So you can only bring someone on before they've played. That's the whole point. You're making a gamble on whether they will score more points than the last player. Yilmaz is an option for Game Week 1. I think there's 2 Yilmazes. Am I wrong? I think there might be 2, but I'm guessing you're talking about the striker. Is there 2 or am I going crazy? Yeah, the 4 million defender and the 8 million forward. For me, I just think Italy are possibly one of the best defences in this game. And 8 million for match day 1, it's just too much money for me. Could he score? Yes, I know. I think Turkey are one of the teams that I keep getting the most comments under videos saying you're underestimating them. Maybe I am, but Italy's defence is also really good. So if you go and check out Ben Crellin, he's got a spreadsheet, of course he does, with all the betting odds for clean sheets. And Italy's odds for a clean sheet are best in the first game. So they're 0.45 for Turkey. And then the next 2 games is 0.4 and 0.44. So it's very close. But that just goes to show you that the bookies aren't favouring Turkey. I'm not going to tipster. I'm not going to answer that. Why don't I pick Kane? I might pick Kane. Depay is just... The problem is Depay plays the same day in match day 1. I think I can maybe go from Ronaldo to Kane for match day 3. That might be the way to go for it. That attack is meta for Game Week 1. I have the exact same. Yeah, a lot of people are going to have this. The thing is, once I don't go for Hazard, there's very little point in ignoring 3 premium strikers. There just aren't enough good quality mids. Like, between 5.5 million and 7 million mids, there's just hardly any decent options. There really is. Really isn't, I should say. Is it just the same as Champions League fantasy? It's similar, but I don't think there's things like ball recoveries and stuff aren't in the rules. So players like Kante are just no good in this. Spinazzola, is he absolutely nailed? He should be-ish. I think Emerson was someone that they thought was going to be in. Has he joined the squad yet? I don't know if he's joined the squad up. I think he has, though. I think Emerson's in the squad. Let me see if he's... Hang on. Is he in this? I think he is. Yeah, he's also 5.5. But the thing is, he's hardly played this year at all. So I don't know. But the thing is, Italy play on the first day, so we'll know the team anyway. So if he plays match day 1, I'll risk that he plays match day 3. If you want to go for someone that's nailed on, then just go for Bonucci at 5.5. Who is my favourite high-value striker? Probably Lukaku. I just think Belgium are probably one of the best attacks in this game. Look, I would love Mbappe, of course, but not until match day 2 because of the fixtures. Are there deadlines on day 2, 3 of one match day? Well, you can see at the bottom, right? You can literally see it yourself. So this is the deadline, 8 o'clock. This is the deadline for match day 1, and then there's a substitution window. It's always the time of the first game. So after this game, you can make substitutes up until the time of the next game, basically. So once 2 o'clock on Saturday hits, you can't make any more subs for this day. Once 2 o'clock for Sunday hits, when you're about to watch England smash Croatia, hopefully. I take that with a pinch of salt. I'm only messing. Just like in 2018, I know what's coming. Yes, hopefully, yeah, that makes sense, right? Scoring system. I did a video on it, the rules video. If you want to check out, I'm not going to go through the scoring system. That is very simple, right? It's goals, assists, and clean sheets, pretty much. There's a few other things like you get points for winning a penalty, even if it's not converted. There's an extra point, I think, if you score from outside the box. I think if a player passes the ball to another one and they dribble a long way and then score, I don't think you get the assist for that as well. Radetzky, because he's 4 million. And he plays on a different day to Simon. Simon? There's no way to fit in. There's literally no way for me. It's very difficult to fit in all the names. Why no England defenders? Harry Maguire's just not going to make the first day, I don't think. Yeah, so Germany, obviously, they lost to North Macedonia, didn't they, recently-ish? So I am kind of like aware of their potential to be attacked, but I just think like Germany, their team is just not so bad that suddenly I'm thinking that France and Portugal are just going to go and smash them or anything like that. And also, a lot of the bookies odds are done on. Go and check out Ben's spreadsheet, but a lot of the bookies odds are done on. I think Germany are playing at home. I can't remember for how many of the matches, but they don't have high clean sheet odds for the first two games because they're playing France and Portugal. But I still think it's just tough. It's just better to go because of the limitless chip. It's why I've not got Mbappe. I'll have him for match day 2, and then in match day 3. I won't have him again. Isn't that obviously? I think France are great and Mbappe's great. It's just, I think just like any fantasy game, you target the fixtures, and I just think there's better defenses to target than Germany. I guess that's my short answer, my short way of saying it. Right? Can I convince your friend, Alan? I don't want to say names because I think people are like tricking me, but that doesn't sound like a tricky name. Alan, play. Do you think we need to keep money in the bank or just spend it? I would just spend it. I don't think Kimmich is that great of an option, to be honest. No. I mean, in match day 3, we'll be looking at Germany players, I'm sure. Maybe someone like Gnabry. But, yeah. Surely Simone isn't nailed, is he? So, as far as I know, and again, if there's any Spanish people in, make yourself known. But I don't think David De Gea is going to be the number 1 keeper. Simone hasn't long been in the team either. There are reports, like legit reports, that I think it's Luis Enrique's the boss, isn't he? That he will give the nod to Robert Sanchez from Brighton. So I basically we don't know. I've got to be honest. I just think I'm going to spend 9 million on keepers. So again, don't get too like held up on what's the word I'm looking for. Don't get too, I don't know, stuck on the fact that I've got him in. I'll just spend 9 million. And if I'm not sure who's nailed for Spain, then I'll just go for someone like maybe Schmeichel and get rid of one of my Denmark defenders, something like that, basically. Depay or Kalajdzic. It's got to be. I think Depay. Like he takes everything. He's going to shoot on sight. Happy days. Does Lewandowski not interest you? Good fixtures for a limitless match day 2. Yeah. It's a good option. He's just so expensive. Who do I sell out of the Ronaldo, Lukaku, Depay frontline, you know? Hung up on? Yeah, hung up on. That's it. How does one go from playing on loan for Rochdale to potentially starting the Euros? I don't know. I do not know, but I follow someone called FPL Sigurd, Sigurd on Twitter, a really good guy to follow. And he put in the quotes to me. And one of them was from a verified account, and it said it could happen. And it's all to do with playing with his feet. Now, again, I don't know this for sure. I just like with FPL, I will not sit here and tell you that I know more than anyone else because I definitely don't when it comes to the Euros. But I guess you just got to go on the info you see, and it could be him, but. I think the friendlies will hopefully tell us a bit more. Obviously, with goalkeepers, you're looking for them to start 2 games in the friendlies. If they do what Netherlands are going to do, apparently, and switch goalkeepers for both games, then that's a bit annoying, but we'll see. Florenzi's nailed on. Florenzi will 100% start. I don't really have too many concerns over that. Spinazzola should start. I think that's the difference, right? Would you have Ronaldo or Depay? I think I would. I mean, Depay's going to cost you less transfers. I think with Ronaldo, you're probably going to look to transfer him out in match day 3. So it depends what your plans are with them. Dani Olmo, the thing is he nailed? I really don't know what the Spanish attack is going to look like. I've tried to look it up. The problem is with this is you've got a lot of fan speculation. And as much as fans, you know, Spanish people that will follow the Spanish team probably know more than everyone else, right? I get that. But I mean, I've seen predicted lineups for England which I just do not agree with at all. So you've got to just take it all with a bit of a pinch of salt. That yes, they know, but they don't know what the manager's thinking. So Olmo, I've seen some predicted lineups where he doesn't start. So that's the only problem with him. Again, we're going to be. I think Spain are playing today. We're going to be looking at the friendlies to kind of get a grasp on who's going to start, essentially. But I mean, his underlying numbers from a club level are looking pretty good for 7 million. Like, if I knew he was nailed, I'd probably spend $1 million from Torres elsewhere potentially. Ronaldo or settle for Jota. Well, Jota's not nailed. That's the thing. Again, if there's Portuguese fans in here, let me know what you think. But I've seen lots of predicted lineups where it's Bernardo Silva on the right, Bruno Fernandes is a 10, then João Felix on like the left-hand side, and then Ronaldo up front. So they could obviously play like a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 where Jota's on the left like he would be for Liverpool perhaps, and then Ronaldo through the middle. But I don't think Jota's nailed. If he was, if I knew he was going to start match day 1, then I would be tempted to switch Ronaldo to a different striker and get Jota in, yes, because he's only 0.5 million more than Ferran Torres. But Bernardo Silva's record for Portugal is not bad. So if you really want to spread the funds from Ronaldo to a Portuguese midfielder who's almost certainly going to start, you could just go for Bernardo Silva instead. Is 3 Netherlands players risky? The thing is, they are favourites to win the group. They're favourites to win every match. They're favourites to keep a clean sheet in every match as well. I know there's some concerns from people in Holland or in the Netherlands, on looking again, they've just switched formation to 5 at the back, etc. There's not much confidence in the manager, I don't think. But according to the odds, they're favourites all round. So it's not necessarily a problem to have 3. It depends which 3 you've got. It has to be Depay as one of them, right? If you've got 3 Netherlands players and one of them's not Depay, then you're probably doing things a little bit wrong, I would say. Should I double up on Denmark defence? Was and Mile? Would you not go Kjær and Mile? I think Denmark double defence is pretty decent. Obviously, if they both lose a clean sheet, then you've got to replace both of them with players off the bench, which might not be ideal. You could spread the risk a little bit. But if you're going to double up on a defence that's got cheap defenders, then I think Denmark are really good. Again, going back to the odds, they are... According to the odds, Denmark have a better chance of a clean sheet in match day 1 than Belgium. And then the odds for match day 3 aren't bad either. So they are the team that I'm potentially looking at as a double up. I also like Italy double up, but it's a bit more expensive. And the Spanish double up could be decent as well. I'm not against going for Simone and Torres, for example. So we'll see. The formation they used against Scotland was widely panned by the Dutch media. Yeah, I saw a lot of it. There's a guy I follow, I think he's called AFC_Ajax or something like that. And he was translating interviews, and even De Ligt was questioning. He's like, I've never played in the back 3. I've never played left centre back. I think he said something like, so yes, there are questions about, or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's not looking good for the Dutch guy. As you can see, I've not got Windle right now. But I don't want to put too much emphasis on friendlies because, it's not it's not the proper competition. Players aren't necessarily fired up for it. It's not always necessarily the first team either. So I don't want to put too much emphasis on it. But at the same time, if you've just swapped from a formation that got you a lot of goals to one I assume he thinks is going to be more defensively sound, but no one thinks it's a good idea, then... Yeah, there's question marks, and I'm not sure the players are buying it. Again, I'm not an authority on this. I'm just seeing what I've read or going by what I've read. But it feels like the players are not coming out and saying it, but they are kind of questioning the manager a bit. Yeah, I like Kane. I think with England, right? So I've actually pre-recorded a video for Sunday already. I know. George, how's it going? Why did I remove Moreno? Just because I'm not 100% if he's nailed on. And to be honest, it's much easier to just put this draft up. I get less questions about it than if I have the other one. I'm just playing around with formations right now. But if Moreno's nailed on, I like the idea of going for him. But the problem is I'd want Hazard, and I don't know if Hazard is an option anymore for match day 1. I've also lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? I can't remember what I was going to say. What was I talking about before? It was the Dutch players. Oh, England. Oh, yeah. I've already pre-recorded a video for Sunday. And I think one of the things I spoke about in there is looking at England objectively, right? It's very. I think it's very difficult for people like me who want England to do well. Like I sometimes second guess myself. Like, do I think he's actually a good option, or do I think he's a good option because he's English, right? Because I do want a few English players in my team potentially, but I think if you go and look at the squads, like okay, England's biggest weakness is the centre-back partnership plus the goalkeeper, right? That triangle is the weakest part. Fullbacks are great. The left-right forwards are great. Kane's like one of the best strikers in the world. Rice is a great kind of more defensively minded midfielder. Bellingham looks really good. Mount is excellent. So objectively, England have a really good team. Obviously, there's the caveats that they start slow. The media get on them quick. If there's any mistakes, like it's a big drop in morale. But I think you have to look at England as a genuine, I'm not going to say contender to win it, but in terms of options for the group stages, then they're good. So people questioning Kane, like Kane is a great option against all those teams. Like if I look at England's fixtures, so Croatia first, Croatia 0.15 to get a clean sheet, right? That's really low. And then second game's against Scotland. Scotland 0.06, by the way, even less. And then they play Czech Republic, it's 0.05. So in England's group, the bookies heavily favour them to be scoring goals. So, and everything goes through Kane pretty much. So he has to be up there. I wouldn't touch Grealish. I really wouldn't. I don't think he's definitely going to start. I'm finding England hard to pick. I'm way too cynical with them. I don't want it to cost me. Literally everyone in my mini league will have Kane. The problem is you just don't know. You just don't know. You just don't know, do you? You just don't know who's definitely going to start in those wide positions. Is it going to be Foden? Is it going to be Grealish? Is it going to be Sancho? Is it going to be Sterling? At fullback, is it going to be Chilwell? Is it going to be Shaw? Is it going to be James? Is it going to be Trippier? Is it going to be Walker? You know. Hey, Mings, right? If Maguire's injured for the whole group stage, Mings is only 4.5 million. I know he's got, if he carries on like he did in that friendly, a chance of getting sent off. But 4.5 million for an England defender playing at Wembley for all their games. Just saying, 4.5 million. Not that bad. Not that bad. Best mids within 5.5, Alaba or Klaassen or Yaziki or Højbjerg. I don't think I'll go near Højbjerg. One of the other three. I think Alaba and Yaziki are nailed. So you're probably looking at those two. 4.5 goalkeepers other than the Dutch. I think the Turkish goalkeeper is 4.5. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think it's this guy, isn't it? Is it I don't want to pronounce that. But Turkey could be okay. The problem with me for Turkey, right? I know people kind of rate them, but you have to play Italy first. It's just not ideal. So I think instead of going for 4.5, I'd probably look to go for Hradetsky and like a 5 million goalkeeper instead, possibly. There's plenty of people in my comment section, honestly, over all these videos that think Turkey potentially going to top the group. Top the group. I mean, Italy are unbeaten in I think Italy have kept is it 8 clean sheets or something in their last however many games? Let me get Bonucci up on Transfer Market. Hang on a sec. Don't. Oh Jesus. Let me see how many clean sheets they got. So last few games, clean sheet, clean sheet, clean sheet, clean sheet, clean sheet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In the last 11 games, they got 10 clean sheets. I mean, that is if you're as old as I am, then what's the cliche for Italy? They get clean sheets. It's always been the thing. If you look back here, they have lost one game here against Portugal, 1-0 in 2018. They're unbeaten since then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 games unbeaten. 25 games unbeaten. As long as I've just counted correctly. It's mad. So Turkey might be good. Are they at the level of Italy? I'm not so sure. That'll be the Turkish fans. They're pretty excitable. Possibly, yeah. Possibly. I don't know. Obviously, I think even more like, do you know what I mean? If I come onto a stream for FPL and I say something like, I don't know, I'm going for this guy captain because he plays for Aston Villa, because he plays against Aston Villa or he plays against Everton, then of course I'm always going to get like a Villa fan or an Everton fan telling me why I'm wrong. But I think when it comes to international, it's even worse. I think everyone's like more protective about their country than they are their club for a lot of the time. Which is fair, and to be honest, like it's much more difficult to watch international games, isn't it? I mean, for one, it's not when it's friendlies or qualifiers, it's not quite as interesting when it's not your own team, and the games are super spread out. So, like I'm saying here, Italy are unbeaten over 25 games. Like that's obviously ridiculous, but that goes back nearly 3 years, 2.5 years. Like it's good for them. They're obviously a really good team and they've kept that up. But for some teams, like they'll have been good like 2.5 years ago, then they had like a bit of a bad patch. We're talking about games spread out over different competitions. Some are qualifiers, some are proper tournaments. They've not all played the same teams. I think it's very difficult to compare teams like that. Is Immobile an option for 10 million or just Italian mids? I think he is an option, but he's not on penalties or anything like that. I think it'll be Jorginho on penalties. And Turkey, is Turkey a good team to target? Italy have scored like they against San Marino. I mean, everyone scores goals against them, right? They scored 2 against Lithuania, 2 against Bulgaria, 2 against Northern Ireland, 2 against Bosnia. So they don't really necessarily rip teams apart. Although they have scored a few goals in some games, but they're kind of easier games. I don't know. I just think. I mean, Immobile, I don't mind him, but I just don't know how good of a match Turkey is. I think Italy will win, but I think I'd probably back the clean sheet. It's not that people necessarily think that the midfielders are better. It's when you take into account all the other players that they might be better. So instead of having like, I don't know, Ronaldo and Chiesa, you'd have to have like Immobile and Jota, for example, or Bernardo Silva, or even Bruno Fernandes. I get probably not for the price. I'm trying to work out how much they are. Roughly, anyway. I think Chiesa and Ronaldo is 19 million. Immobile and Bernardo Silva is 18.5. So you'd save 0.5. But is that the better combination? Probably not. And that's why people aren't looking at Immobile. It's not that he is necessarily bad in isolation. It's just that when you start putting the combos together, it's probably not the best use of funds. Do I think Foden will start? I don't know. I'm going to do a video on my 11. I'll tell you right now, I would have Foden and Sancho starting. Or maybe Grealish. On the right side, I would definitely lock Sancho in, right? Sancho is a lock for me. The left side is much tougher because I was even watching England's Euro qualifying goals the other day. Now, this is like 2 years ago or something. But the amount of time Sterling was involved, right? I think the whole tapping merchant is such a lazy way of describing Sterling. I know he's not had a good season, and I wouldn't put him in my preferred 11. But I would not be surprised if he gets the nod. I would not be surprised at all. It probably should be Foden because he's fully fit. Like the problem with Grealish is he's not long back from an injury. And like I know, like I do love watching Grealish. Right, it was great to watch him the other day. But I don't. People were acting like he'd had this like amazing game. I know he got fouled a lot. That's what he does, right? But I don't know. I thought he was good. I just didn't think he was like out of this world good. You have high expectations for players like that, right? Saka's nowhere near the first 11. Nowhere near. Again, and that just shows the quality that England have at the moment. That Saka is just nowhere near the first 11. I don't think, anyway. Rohan. I watched the France game yesterday and Benzema looked unbelievable despite missing a penalty. On the other hand, Germany looked awful. Do you think we're making a mistake overlooking Benzema and Mbappe for Matchday 1? Possibly. I mean, do I think it's a mistake? No. Do I think we could possibly get punished for it? Yes. That's what I would say. I don't think it's a mistake to look at the fixtures and see Germany and Portugal in Matchday 1 and 3 and just ignore it. Like Mbappe's 12 million. Ronaldo's got Hungary. I don't think it's a mistake. I think it would be wrong to label it as that. But I do think, of course, there is possibility that it comes back to bite us, right? During friendlies, his ice wasn't shin splints, just stress. The man's the most foul player in Europe. Yeah, possibly. Do I think Rodriguez is too expensive? The defender, is it, for Switzerland? No, 5.5 million. I think for a penalty taker, it's probably fair. They got a decent enough chance at clean sheets, right? Is it bad that I have both Ronaldo and Jota? Not necessarily, but I just don't know if Jota's completely nailed on. Who would I take Chiesa out for? Good question. Yeah, really good question, because I've already got like so many €7 million midfielders. And Berghaus is no longer an option. Maybe, I don't know. I can't remember their names. Let me bring them up. Do you know what? I can remember their names. I just don't know if I'm pronouncing them right. But let me just bring them up so you can see. So, I mean, Olmo, potentially, if I wanted to double up on Spain. Berghaus, I just don't know if he's an option anymore if they're playing 5 at the back. So it's probably going to be this guy, Baumgartner for Austria. He does play kind of central midfield position, but he does tend to get forward quite a bit. I think he was the one that had that shot against England that I think Pickford just touched over the bar. I mean, Shaqiri is probably not the worst option. Wales and Turkey, it's okay. And then the other one is, I mean, Carrasco maybe if he's going to start, to be honest. I think that's it. Zielinski. The problem is, I think this guy, if I'm right, he has got... Hang on. Let me bring him up. So if I go to his club stats, they're okay. They're not bad. But if you ask any Polish person, the first thing they always say about this guy is he just doesn't do it for Poland. So I think it'd probably be Carrasco if I thought he was going to start. Maybe Shaqiri or this Baumgartner. I don't know. I don't know. I try and look up the names, but then I don't remember them. Is Marcus Llorente a starter for Spain? I'm not 100% sure, I'll be honest. Hang on. Hang on. Radetsky's starting for Finland, by the way, today. Why the hell can I not find what I'm looking for? Why can't you find what you're looking for? Okay, here we go. I'm still in the wrong place. He'll play right back. Yeah, I've got some... There are some people that have done predicted lineups. I don't see him in there. I haven't seen him that often. Yeah, he has covered... Yeah, right back, possibly. Call him Trigger. Possibly. He's quite cheap, though, right? I think that's why people are looking at him. Yeah, he's only 5 million. But he might... If he plays right back... Well, De Bruyne and Hazard might not start. I did do a video on chip strategy. Yeah, it was mostly focused around the limitless, to be honest. Oh, geez, we've been going 48 minutes already. Alaba's named as defender, but he mostly plays attacking mid. But he's a midfielder in this. Where are you checking the player, club, and international details? FB ref, usually. England plays 5 at the back. I'm hoping they'll play back 4, even without Maguire. I think we should still play a back 4. I just feel like you're weakening. You take out someone like Bellingham to play Kyle Walker in centre back instead. I'd just rather have the extra midfielder, I think. Guess I'm wary of avoiding players facing strong teams. World Cup 28. Those who avoided Ronaldo versus Spain were left seriously chasing. That was a ridiculous game, though, wasn't it? I had Ronaldo for that, by the way. He scored a hat trick, didn't he? Did they go 2-0 down and he scored a hat trick? He scored a free kick, I think. If De Bruyne doesn't start, could Tielemans start at Cam? Well, I think they mainly play like a 4-3-3. So De Bruyne kind of plays off the right, and then Hazard on the left. I guess they could play Mertens there, and play Tielemans a bit further out. I wouldn't. The thing is, De Bruyne, by the sounds of it, is not going to miss more than one game. So if you're betting on Belgian players that aren't first choice, it's for day one only. Might not matter if you're playing 2 chips in the groups, but something to think about. I'm definitely overlooking Pookie, I'll be honest. I know he's got a really good scoring record, but I'm definitely overlooking him. Okay. I am going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. No video tomorrow on Saturday, but I will have a video pre-recorded. It's already actually uploaded for Sunday. That's going out at 2 o'clock, I think. Do give this stream a like if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button. In terms of next week, I might do a stream at some point. I don't know when. And I obviously have my team section. I'm also going to do the game week preview as well. I'm going to do like a game week preview for the Euros too. I'll try and fit it in where I can. The group stages are mad for getting content out, but we'll see how it goes. So thank you for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe. We'll obviously be back for more Euro content this summer, and also FPL whenever that launches. We'll be back for that straight away. So thank you for watching. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I'll see you soon.